taking it, and this is really a good wrestling lesson for me. And that's being honest. That's being as honest as I can. This is actually the first time that I've actually sat down and talked with you about the wrestling business. And I'm just soaking it up.
Well, and like I said, if you go out on a Saturday night and somebody's got this elaborate production, and which is great if they got the money to put into that, and you see, okay, and I'm going to call him out on this. The promoter's a guy named Chris Wiggins. He's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I like the guy. He runs a group called Flatline Pro Wrestling down in Georgia. One of the things that, and I don't want to necessarily say it, that disturbs me, people come out to watch pro wrestling, and he does have a strong fan base. Don't get me wrong, unless WWE is in town and his fan base goes and buys tickets there. But part of their show is done on a big screen at their entranceway. Mm-hmm. If I want to watch a big screen, I've got a 70-inch TV in my man cave. I'll stay at home and watch it. People come out of the house when you put wrestling on a sign or you put wrestling on a marquee. When they come in there, that's what they should see. Now, if you're going to use a promo to set up a match, have the promo in the ring. Have the person out there in front of the fans. They didn't come to watch TV. I guess it was back in 2002. What year was it that WCW was purchased by WWE? Is that 2002?
Something like that, yeah.
Around that time. I happened to be traveling with Leilani Kai at that time. It's when she was traveling with the Power Crew. We were all working for Jay Eagle at the time, and Leilani Kai got us some tickets to Survivor Series in Greensboro. And then the next night, we were in Charlotte for Monday Night Raw. And I looked at Bubba Brooks, and I said, brother, I'm glad we did not pay for these tickets. I feel sorry for the people at Survivor Series that paid $100 or $125 for a front row seat to watch all that stuff on the Titantron. Again, you're paying money to sit there and watch a big screen TV. Put the wrestling in the ring.
Carolina Independent Wrestling Report will be right back, right after this. We here at the Ninja Troll Digicast love this time of year. We love seeing family, eating food, and we love the presents. So, the lovely Laura and myself, along with Timmy Mojo D, are spending time with our families and friends. So this week's show will be postponed until January 2nd. Please join us for all the fun at the Ninja Troll Digicast. Oh yeah, and happy holidays too.
The Ninja Troll Digicast.
We'll be right back with our featured interview on this week's Carolina Independent Wrestling Report right after this.
This is Bryce Anthony, one half of the Sons of Steel. Make sure you check out Boomer Payne and myself in the Sons of Steel saga every Friday on Spreaker.com.
This is the party manimal, Zane Riley. I've been drinking since noon, eating since 12, and you know what? I'm going to the other 12. You're listening to the CIWR Report. Hey, somebody hand me that beer.
With you saying that about the big screen, do you feel that that's a hindrance for CWA down in Orangeburg? Because I know they do the exact same thing.
I think Roger does it a little different down there. They put together little vignettes and stuff, but they also put together like entrance packages. Now that is good. I'm fine with that because when the music hits and a little video package comes up, you got a wrestler walking to the ring. Now, if you're showing backstage vignettes and stuff like that, there's really no point to that. You're not doing a TV program. And that's where they're copying the WWE. Don't be the WWE. Be CWA. Be Flatline. Be WrestleForce. Be your own group. I share a lot of fans with CWA. They might go to a CWA show on Saturday night, and then if I'm running the following Sunday, I get a lot of those same fans. But they know that when they go to a CWA show, it's going to be different than when they go to a WrestleForce show. But they're going to see wrestling. And that's why they're coming out to both shows. I worked for Roger Gleaton when he first started. Roger Gleaton and I had a little difference of opinion. We didn't necessarily agree on the way business was done, and of course, that's how the rumors get started. People would say that I said something about Roger or Roger said something about me, and whether it was true or not, I really didn't care. My breakfast didn't taste any different the next morning. I really didn't give a damn. But I can pick up the phone now and call Roger. I can do business with Roger now. I don't invade Roger's area. Roger doesn't invade me. It's a mutual respect, and what Roger does down there, I don't know what he does. My girlfriend's actually going to some of his shows. She's a big fan of wrestling. There might be one of my guys that's wrestling for Roger or something. She might want to go down and watch it. I have no issue with that. She wants to go watch CWA, perfectly fine, no problem. I have no issue with that. I don't have an issue with anybody that wants to go out and see something. They're free to do that. where I have a problem with it is if you're advertising something and you're not producing what you're advertising, which happened to be the case in Gaffney the other night. It kind of felt like the inmates were running the asylum.
When you started up, what was the impact that you wanted to make on the business?
When I started in wrestling, I didn't know that I wanted to make an impact. I actually wanted to prove to mainly some of my family that felt that I wasn't capable of really doing anything or making something of myself. And that was where my desire and my heart came from, was that I wanted to prove some of my mom's brothers, just felt that I wasn't going to be able to do anything with my life at all. And to this day, there's one of my mom's brothers I don't speak to because of that. Everything he does is perfectly fine, but nobody else can do anything. And that's where my heart and my determination came from, was to prove to people and to be able to say, screw you, I did this when you said that I couldn't do it. And it's actually caused me problems in past relationships and even with some of my friends. When somebody tells me I can't do something, they've just now given me a point to prove. At that point, there's nothing that'll stop me, and I know that becomes aggravating. It comes from being told all your life that you may not be able to do something, or you can't do this, or you don't want to do this. And I remember when I first started the karaoke show, the bar business and the wrestling business are a lot alike. You deal with a lot of the same type of people. And when I told my dad that I was going to do the karaoke show, and I had a different format that I was going to use, I didn't want to be like every cookie-cutter DJ in town. I wanted a different show, and that's why I called it the karaoke show. I wasn't just doing it, a night of karaoke or You Be the Star or something like that. I wanted people to know that when they came out, it was going to be different than anything else they've seen when they go to do karaoke. And my dad looked at me and said, it'll never work. And the first time that I went out to try to pick up some bars, I couldn't get anybody to talk to me. I give them my ideas, and they were all closed-minded. And I thought, man, maybe my dad was right. And, I just kept pushing and pushing. And I actually became one of the most popular DJs in the West Columbia area. A month before my father passed away, he patted me on the back. I was wearing a karaoke show shirt, and he looked at me and said I was wrong. And that was the first time my father ever admitted to me that he was wrong by telling me that I may not be able to do something or my idea wouldn't work. And at that point, I knew that I had proved to him and anybody else that was a naysayer that I could do this. But my father was the one that actually got me into DJing. He did private parties and wedding receptions and did stuff for the local Moose Lodge in Martinsburg and the Elks Lodge. When I got into high school, I had teachers who were constantly, get your dad to DJ this, get your dad to DJ that, and that's not how my dad did business. If you wanted to do something with my dad, you needed to contact him. Don't go through his kids. And I'm the same way. You need something from me, if you got something to say to me, don't go through my daughter. Don't message my daughter and say, your dad did this or your dad did that, because your problem's not with my daughter, it's with me. And if you go through my daughter, then we do have a problem. I went home and told my dad, look, they want you to do this. You don't want to do it, I don't care either way. And my dad looked at me and said, how about you do it? And that's how I got into the DJ business, because I would go around and set my dad's stuff up for him, and then he would DJ, and then I would go back and tear it down the next day. So I already knew how to set everything up and tear it down and how to run everything. I DJ'd my first school dance. It was for Students Against Drunk Driving. I DJ'd all through high school, and then my senior year, I DJ'd my senior prom, and then our arch rival high school in Martinsburg High School, I DJ'd their senior prom the following night.
So you feel that you've accomplished what you set out to do?
I've actually accomplished more than what I set out to do. My goal was to make it in professional wrestling. And now, if your opinion is making it means I work for Vince McMahon, then no, I never made it, and I never will. I know that I'm not going to work for Vince. But if making it means staying in this business for 20 years and still being able to rent out my ring or promote a show or put a show together or book a show, then yes, I've made it. I wanted the karaoke show to not just be a normal cookie-cutter show that everybody can go to any bar and see, and I accomplished that. I've always said that I don't want to be that old man that's sitting in a nursing home going, God, I wish I would have done that. I'm going to be the one sitting over going, I did it twice.
So do you have any regrets?
Sure, everybody's got some type of regret. I mean, there's things I would go back and change in my life, but as far as wrestling, when I first got into the wrestling business, you had guys like Bastion Booger and Dusty Rhodes was popular. So wrestling was a vast array of characters. So you never knew what you were going to see in the ring. Yeah, could I spend a lot more time in the ring or in the gym? Sure. But my favorite machine at the gym was the vending machine, and my favorite thing was the cheese curls. I didn't spend a lot of time in the gym. There was at one point that I got up to almost 300 pounds. I was up to 285 pounds, and I got down to 208. And I was in the gym. Unfortunately, I injured my shoulder and got out of the gym and just never went back. I would get little spurts where I would go and I would start doing good, and for one reason or another, I just didn't get on a routine. But remember at the time, and I'm going to use John Schuyler as an example. John Schuyler is single and has no kids. When I got into the wrestling business, I was already married, and I had a baby on the way. So I was really limited to where I could go and stuff like that. So I had to go within driving distance of being back home.
Hey everybody, this is the king of the selfie, your girlfriend's favorite wrestler, Cameron Cade.
This is Abel Adams.
This is Chris Heimer. Get a string with me and listen to the CIWR Report.
CIW Report.
The CIW Report.
Simpsonville, South Carolina, NCW presents the New Year's Bash to benefit the Children's Miracle Network's hospitals. January 1st at the Simpsonville Activity and Senior Center. See all of your favorite NCW wrestling superstars.
DJ Boss,
Rob Killjoy and Shay McGrady. The Sons of Steel, Bryce Anthony and Boomer Payne. ADD.
James Drake,
Cameron Cade.
and many more.
This is the way to start your New Year's off right. Get your advanced discount tickets by calling now 760-705-8888. The Activity and Senior Center is located at 310 West Curtis Street in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Doors open at 6 p.m. with a bell time of 7. Fighting for a cause, it's the NCW New Year's Bash for the Children's Miracle Network's hospitals. Welcome back to the CIW Report. Once again, we are talking with promoter, manager, trainer, and worker, Bob Keller. Bob, it's time to do the word association. Are you ready?
Give it to me.
Now, basically, for anybody who doesn't understand how this thing works, I'm going to give you some names, and you can give me one-word answers, or you can elaborate, whichever one you choose to do. But the first name here is Brett Wolverton.
Brett Wolverton. Bretty Crocker. I love Brett to death. Brett lives in the upstate of South Carolina. Of course, I live around the Columbia area. There's times Brett's traveling through here. I gave Brett a key to my house. That's how much I trust Brett. If he's still coming through the area, he'll call and say, hey, man, there's a spare bedroom available. And I'll say, dude, you got a key to my house. My actual brother doesn't even have the address. That tells you how I feel about Brett Wolverton. Okay, go ahead, your next one.
Barbarian.
Barbarian, man, I love Barb to death. Barbarian showed me so much in this business and done so much for me with really just by speaking up for me. When I first met the Barbarian, it was in Florence, South Carolina for Ben Throckmorton at NHCW. And Shane Shadows was wanting to use the Barbarian. I told Barbarian, I said, hey, look, if you ever need somebody to ride with you, here's my phone number. I don't mind traveling. I can come out of Columbia. I'll pick you up. I'll do the driving. And I just wanted to be able to go out and get on the road with somebody and be able to pick something up. And I actually, what made me think of that is Bruiser Graham was traveling with Jimmy Valiant at the time. That's how Bruiser was getting a lot of shows, was he was traveling with Jimmy Valiant. And I thought, God, why not find somebody close to me and do the same thing? And that's where Barbarian came into play. I'll never forget, Barbarian called me about 2 weeks later, and I thought it was somebody ribbing me. Because talking to him, it wasn't the same way he talked to me in the locker room. And when I realized it was him, I almost pissed my pants. I was like, oh, my God, it's really Barbarian. And we went to Waynesboro, Virginia for a guy named Marvin Ward. And at the time, George South and Nikita Koloff were running a show in Manassas, Virginia. And God, I'll never forget this. Barbarian calls up and he goes, oh, brother, we go for Marvin Ward, then we go to Manassas, Virginia. And being the fact that I'm from that area, people do screw up and call it Manassas when it's actually called Manassas. I said, sure, I love to do it. And I went and picked him up. We did the autograph signing for Marvin Ward. I took him from there. We went up to Manassas and did that show. And we were running a little behind, and anybody that knows me knows that I got a little bit of a lead foot. and we jumped off of I-95 onto Interstate 6.